Welcome to Africa's numero uno tech show on television with Don Pedro Agambi, where we look at issues, trends, developments in the global ICT industry. We also play host to tech innovators, big thinkers, the professionals, and the CEOs who are driving today's tech economy. Today, our tech personality of the week is the Chief Digital Officer of Polaris Bank, Mr. Dele Adeyinka. Stay with us.
Oh, yes, very well, yes. So with the approval of the telecommunication company years ago, that gave an opportunity for internet to really penetrate and get into almost every device that we will ever imagine. That gave that platform, that was the foundation that made it possible. Prior to the approval of the telcos playing in the sector, banks have been trying, switches have been in the industry, but we've been deploying solutions just in silos. And because of that, we were not able to make all the major growth and achievement that we will have achieved together. But with the penetration of internet access across, and with the switches coming into the industry, we were able to ride on those two major platforms, networks, the telco networks that provided the backbone for internet penetration, as well as the switches who are also available at that time. I think we have about 4 or 5 different switches right now that are playing in the industry. We were able to come up with a platform where transactions can be done across several banks. Interoperability became seamless, and that was what really happened in 2000, 2002, 2003. So with that, being able to facilitate interbank payments using cards across ATMs, using cards on POS terminals, providing solutions on mobile devices, and that can debit and credit different banks instantly at the speed of light. That really was the beginning of the transformation of payments and electronic payments in Nigeria. And I dare say that in the West African corridor, even in the African corridor, because we've traveled to several countries across Africa, I dare say that Nigerian market is a leading market in this area, and we're doing a lot far better than our other countries and our other peers in different other countries. So kudos to all of the different major stakeholders, past CB presidents, and even current CBS COs, who are also doing a lot in continually fighting and growing this line of business as far as the financial inclusion and payment, electronic payment is concerned in Nigeria. Okay, all right. Some of the few issues I will highlight are these. Fraud thrives under secrecy. So when problems occur, which they will, because as good as we have practitioners and players who mean well to grow adoption, we equally have the bad guys who don't mean well, and all they are doing is doing their best in their own way to frustrate the good work that the great guys and the good men are doing. So how do we fight this? We need to keep reporting on the general platform that has been provided. So once a particular fraud happens in some institution, it is mandatory that they are reported, so that others will take learning and lessons from those kind of fraud and take precautionary steps to also be able to prevent and avoid similar occurrence in their own bank and in their own institution. So that is important. And more importantly, it's also ensuring that the populace, our consumers, our customers, are educated and are aware of what they need to do and what they need not to do, ultimately towards preventing fraud. Because with information technology, with the world in itself, it's the more information we made available to our customers, the more they're enlightened, the more knowledge they have, the more they know how to use all of what we're offering them to do their banking transactions. And they will naturally, if they're aware, if they know, they won't give out their passwords, they won't give out their PIN just because someone calls them and gives them some information or a request for some information from them. So we need to continue to educate and collectively educate our consumers, and then allow information sharing to be our watchword across all stakeholders in the industry. With that, the level of fraud will naturally reduce. And then from the technology point of view, ensure that we put in place all the required security infrastructure that has been regulated, that is being regulated by the CBN across all of our channels. PCI DSS needs to be put in place across several infrastructures in different banks, and avoid all of those. We all know, because we are all practitioners, what not to do, so that our customers' informations are not compromised in any way, either internally or even by external stakeholders who have bad intentions. Also, so CBN regulates, CBN enforces, CBN has oversight functions on all the players in the industry. Banks is just one of them. They also have oversight function on fintechs and all the different other players, whether they are switches, whether they are card manufacturers, whether they are original equipment manufacturers of of those different devices, and they ensure that they put in place proper policies, and they supervise, and they monitor and they supervise, and they ensure that sanctions are given to those banks or several other players who, for whatever reasons, might not comply with their directives. So CBN is at the heart of all of this, and they are doing a lot, putting all of those different stakeholders together in a coordinated manner. So CBN is a major stakeholder in ensuring the safety of the financial sector and the electronic financial landscape in Nigeria. No strange third party can just bring in any device into this country today without going through the required approval, without going through all of those major stakeholders that have been defined. PTSA, SNIPs, PTSPs that are already approved and certified, and even the players and stakeholders who are also practitioners as deposit money banks. Not all the time. Yes, there are some instances where we have few bad eggs who will have let go or let loose of customers' information, but it's not all the time. The most common menace is where customers on their own divulge their information innocently to the bad guys, who for some reasons will have been able to put a call through and give them some level of comfort, and then because of the lack of the education, lack of the required knowledge, they go all out and they let go of their information. And in few days or few hours after they parted with those information, they just keep seeing debit alert in their account. So banks do, and what they do is there's an investigative team in the bank, there's an audit team, there's a control team. There are different layers Banking is the most regulated business, I would say. In our particular instance, we have the control team, we have the audit team, we have the CISO team. All of these teams, they manage risk. We now have the chief risk officer and the risk management team. So across the whole enterprise, there are layers and layers and layers of control that are put in place where no single individual can consummate any transaction, even on the banking application. So the dual control is always there, and there is always one level of oversight above another level of oversight that ultimately prevents fraud. Of course, because depositors' money are kept in trust of banks, and the bank holds those depositors the fiduciary duty to ensure that they keep those funds in safe custody, so that anytime customers come in, they can easily have access to their money. Banking is built on trust, and that trust we guard jealously. Every bank guards jealously. Bank, under the watchful eye of the CBN, have been doing a lot in the industry to prevent fraud. The same scenario you painted necessitated the idea of having a BVN. You remember a few years ago, every account holder in a bank cannot be traced to the account he has in another bank. But today, BVN was introduced. A few years ago, BVN was introduced, and is a unique identifier today, which allows my account in my bank to be able to be traced to another of my accounts in any other bank across all the 26, 27 different banks that we have, or maybe 30 in the industry today. So anywhere that I do a transaction can easily be traced across the whole industry. That's an improvement on where we were before. And such kind of improvements are being introduced on a regular basis at intervals to ensure that there is a globally monitored universal platform that tracks electronic transactions. It's a big movement, or a big move, a big leap towards ensuring that we're able to curb and reduce the menace of fraud in the industry today. So everybody is uniquely identified, and we can know who is doing what at any point in time.
Wow, that was our tech personality of the week, Mr. Dele Adeyinka, Chief Digital Officer of Polaris Bank. For comments and observations, reach us on the numbers and email now showing on your screen. You can also watch this on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production crew, thanks for watching. Same time, same station. I'll be back next time. I'll see you.